Here's another quick tip. After a while with any brand of color pencil, you're gonna lose the amount that you can push through. So it's gonna get to a point where you can't really go. And say, for example, it happens a lot, but say you lose this highlight here. Say you lose the highlight, no matter what you do, it's just kind of like done. If you take pastels, the pigmentation is pretty high and it's also chalk. So even though this is waxy, and this is dark and light, so you want to add a darker dark, you can put that on top. So say I lost this highlight here and I'm kind of done and I can't get back to it again. This will sit right on top and give you a little bit more. So it's almost like another layer. And you can rub it back in. You gotta be very careful though, because it's a little bit messy. So you can get it to make it softer right on top to get that glow back. It's not gonna totally cover it, but it's almost gonna give it like a glaze effect to it. So you can kind of work that back in there. You can also do the same thing with some charcoals. So it's sitting right on top. It's hard to see, but I'm kind of pushing it. And you can come back and push it back in just a little bit so it's not so harsh. You can also do the same thing for a shadow. Say I wanted to darken this shadow here. Be very careful when you're using black. So I see that this reflected light is a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna come back here. Now, even though this is chalk and on oil, which is you're really not supposed to do anything on oil, but because it's sitting right on top, you're not technically blending with it. So you can see the chalk. It's a way to give you an added layer of flexibility. This happens a lot with, especially with your Prismacolors, where you get to a point where you can't do anything else. Try it out. It's not 100%. It doesn't totally fix everything, but it's kind of like the last effect that you can do where you're trying to still work this over and you have no more room. But at the same time, it's a little bit harder to control. So it's easy to smear around. You are gonna, especially if you use these pastels, you can use these for highlight effects, for some lighting effects, lens flare effects, but you always want to make sure that you spray it to hold it down. Because if you don't spray it, then it's just going to smudge, similar to charcoal. There's no binder. We'll learn more about pastels later on.